Are you on the verge of buying a house? Have you always thought of becoming a homeowner but thought that you cannot buy a home or you don't have the money? Are you paying too much rent? Well, if you're thinking about becoming a homeowner, follow these simple steps on becoming a homeowner. Buying a home is an American dream and you can get to it faster than you think, and it's simpler than you think if you follow these simple steps in this video. Wouldn't it be really nice if your realtor gave you these keys and you walk into your new home ownership just like that? Well, unfortunately, it does not work that way. It is not that simple. So if you follow these steps, your buying process and your goals towards buying your home can become very easy and a simple transaction towards your home ownership and your dreams of becoming a homeowner. The first thing towards home ownership is very obvious and nobody tells you about it. And the first step is to decide to buy a house, to commit to buy a house. Do you really want to buy a house? Why do you want to buy a house? When do you want to buy a house? Where do you want to buy a house? If you think those through, that's the seed towards your home ownership. A lot of people just think they're going to one day become an owner. They're going to have money in the bank sitting there, 100,000 in the account, and they're going to snap like that and they'll own a house. No, it does not work that way. Set a deadline, set a goal that you do want to become a homeowner and work towards it. Maybe it's as soon as possible, maybe in 3 months, and you already have the funds or the down payments with you. Maybe you don't have any funds and you want to buy a home in the next 3 years. So start saving $100 a month, $500 a month, whatever it is going to take you towards the down payment, and build towards that. So the first step is commitment. Do you have that commitment? As I mentioned earlier, start saving for a down payment. So that's your second commitment, because once you decide to buy a house, you are going to need some down payment. If you're a veteran, you need 0% down, but there's still some expense. There's closing costs, there's moving expense, which I'll talk about earlier or later on, but there's still cost. So your second step is start saving money. If you already have saved up, add to it, figure out how much you're going to need, and I'll talk about how much you're going to need when you buy the home. So your second step again is start saving little by little, maybe $100 a month, maybe $500 a month. If you're a couple or married, or if you're two income in the household, save one salary towards a down payment. That's another step. And how do you start saving? The fastest way to save money is to cut back on your expenses. So becoming a homeowner is a commitment I mentioned earlier. And with that, the commitment comes to be cutting off your other things. I learned the hard way when I bought the house. I moved into the house and next thing I know, I have so much expenses which I did not account for. Utilities, maintenance, association fees, insurance, all those added to my mortgage payment, and I was stretching for that mortgage payment to pay that mortgage payment as it is. So I got a shock when I moved into the house and found out that I have so many other expenses. So the way to save money is to cut down your expenses. Do you have a lot of cable TV, cable channels, streaming channels? Are you going to Starbucks every day, spending $6 on Ventis or $7 a day? Cut back on that. Do you see concerts? Do you have an expensive car and you're spending a lot of money on accessories? So anything you can cut, $10, $15, $20, $100, $400 a month, that helps towards saving, because now you don't have that expense. Your credit card has less expense to pay end of the month. So that's another way to save. So saving is not only putting money into the account, but also first cutting it. So that's another step to do. So any other expenses, unexpected expenses, and you miss payments, or something happened, you could not pay your car payments or student loan and your credit got affected for whatever reason, you can always repair your credit. If you like, you can Google, credit repair services, and they'll help you start building your credit back to 680, 650, 700, 720. So that's another step. And these are steps I'm talking about you can do while you're thinking about buying a house. So these are the steps you do when you have free time, or you're at home, or lunch break, etc. So you're doing your homework to becoming a homeowner. So now it's time to talk to a lender. So once you decide you're ready to buy, you think you're going to have the down payment, you're going to start saving, you've cut back on your expenses, your credit is going to be okay. Maybe it has some dings on it, but when you're ready in 3 months or 6 months, and now you're ready to buy a house, whether it's 6 months from now or a year from now, talk to a lender. By talking to the lender, there are several advantages. The first advantage is of course, they will check credit for you as well, detailed credit. So when you talk to a lender, the lender is going to ask you basic questions over the phone, or you can meet over coffee or at their office, any loan officer or lender. They're going to ask you, how much do you make per month? Are you married? Are you single? Who's going to buy the house? Is it going to be two brothers or two sisters or father and son or a couple? Any way you want. Whoever's going to go on title, they need to talk to the lender. The lender will ask you questions. How much do you make? How much is your auto loan? How much is your credit card bills? Do you have student loans? Do you have any other loans, medical bills? All that, he or she will look at your expenses and your income, and based on your income and expenses, they look at your what we call a debt ratio, and then they'll tell you, hey, you know what, based on your expenses, based on your income for the last 2 years, this is how much of a home you're going to be able to buy. And that also depends on your down payment. And I'll give you an example on how the payments work. So let's take an example just to clarify what I'm trying to say. Let's take an average or a medium price home in USA, which is around $416,000 as of second quarter of 2023. But to make rounded figures, let's assume you're gonna buy a house for $400,000. You've gone to your friend's house or you've gone to your mom's house and they had a house around $400,000 and you like that kind of house in that kind of neighborhood. So if you're gonna buy, as an assumption, a $400,000 house and you're working towards putting 10% down, which is $40,000, and let's assume the interest rate is 6.5% fixed for 30 years, then your payments are going to be principal and interest per month will be about $2,900. Your property tax, assuming you're in Orange County, which is about 1.1%. I live in Anaheim Hills, Orange County, so it's approximately 1.1%. Your property tax is $380 a month. You have insurance, homeowners insurance is costing around $70 a month. And then you have PMI, which is the private mortgage insurance. You need private mortgage insurance if you put less than 20% down. In this case, if you put 10% down, there's an additional $132 a month. So the approximate payment is going to be about $29.14 per month. So when you talk to the lender, he's going to tell you, hey, if you buy a house for $400,000, put 10% down, your payment's $2,900 a month. Are you comfortable with this? If you feel comfortable with this, then you can start looking for a house in the $400,000 range. The other thing you want to keep in mind is that I used an example of 10% down and 20% down, but if you're a VA, you can put 0% down. And if you're a first-time home buyer and you don't have the 10% down and you may have a hard time qualifying, then you can get the FHA loan, which is the government loan for first-time home buyers for primary residence. You can put as low as 3.5% down. So on a $400,000 house, if you put 3.5% down, you only need $14,000 down payment to buy the house. Now, as an addition, the other expense that you're gonna need on top of your down payment is you're gonna have some closing costs. So as I mentioned to you, on a $400,000 house, you need $14,000 down payment approximately, plus you may need an additional approximately 2% of the purchase price. In this case, let's say on a $400,000, you need about 2% closing costs, which includes your escrow or attorney fees or title fees, prepaids, which you have to pay, like for example, the property tax you have to pay ahead of time, insurance you have to pay 6 months or a year ahead of time. So on top of your down payment, you need closing cost approximately 2% of your purchase price. So have that additional payment ready as well when you're thinking about buying a house. So once you know approximately how much you can afford by talking to the lender, he's checking out your W-2s and your pay stubs and your tax returns and your credit report. They give you a green light, hey, go buy something for $400 or $500 or $600 or $250. Then the next step is, where do you want to buy? So you need to think about buying, where do you want to buy? Do you want to buy in the city that you live in, but maybe you don't like the neighborhood and you want to upgrade the neighborhood? So maybe you want to go in a city that's selling $250,000 average homes. You want to go to a city that's $400,000 home because you need a better neighborhood or newer homes or homes with a lot or a view. So you need to adjust that and decide, where do you want to buy? Hopefully it's near your work, near your school, near your family. Most people move within 30, 40, 50 miles of where they're living there. But these days things have changed. Post-COVID and social media and the internet and remote working, people are moving to Texas and Montana and Idaho, Florida, Texas, from cities like Los Angeles metros and San Francisco metro and New York metro or other metro cities, going to suburban life. So you have to decide, where do you want to go? So that's the next step. On the other hand, you may be living in, let's say, in Anaheim Hills, and the home's $1 million and you can't afford it. So then you cannot buy in Anaheim Hills or Orange County or Irvine or Newport Beach or expensive cities. There are some expensive cities out there. So then you have to decide, hey, I'm going to have to move out to, let's say, Corona is about 20 miles from here and it's in the Riverside County. Anaheim Hills is in Orange County. So just by moving to Corona or Ontario, 30, 40 miles down east, prices drop by $200,000, $300,000. So $1 million house that you can buy in Anaheim Hills, maybe you can buy in Corona for $800,000, same size. So be prepared to decide where you're gonna move and what kind of house you wanna get. The other thing you have to think about is maybe I wanna stay in Anaheim Hills because the hospital is close by, or my kids are going to school at the Kenyon High School and I don't wanna move, but I can't afford $1 million. So maybe I can buy an older home or a beat up home a little bit where I need to do some work and buy it cheaper. Or the other option is maybe I can buy a townhouse or a condominium for $700,000, which is a 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, maybe smaller than I need, but it's something that'll suffice because until my kids finish high school, I don't want to move, as an example. So maybe you want to buy a townhouse or a condominium instead of a house. There's some sacrifices, but hey, nothing's free. So once you are approved, you know how much of a home you can buy, then the next step is where you can buy, and hopefully this will help you decide where you can move or where you want to buy. By the way, I want to take a quick minute and thank you for watching this video. So I'm going to continue and give you next steps, but also keep watching because at the end of this video, I have 2 bonus tips which you don't want to miss. So please watch towards the end. So the next step is, once you are ready to buy, this is a very important step, is find a realtor where you want to buy. This is very crucial, and I'm not saying that because I'm a realtor, but a realtor's job, especially a buyer's agent, is the agent or a realtor who helps you find a realtor. Is, let's say you want to buy in Anaheim Hills or Corona. You want to find an expert, a local expert who knows the area, who knows the prices, who knows the trends, who knows what's happening with the prices. Are they going up in the next few months? Are they going down? How are the townhomes selling? How are single-story homes selling? How are the schools? They know a lot of things, so work with a realtor. By the way, when a realtor works for you as a buyer's agent, you don't pay him anything. You don't pay him or her anything. They don't cost you anything. Yet they are skilled. They are negotiating experts. They know how to write the contracts. They know how to remove contingencies when you write an offer. Let them do all the work. Let them do the homework. Of course, they get paid when you buy a house. They only get paid when you buy a house and when you close escrow. And of course, you as a smart buyer is not going to close on an escrow that you don't like or not satisfied with. So until you find the home with your satisfaction, with your terms and conditions, then you're not going to close escrow and the realtor is not going to get paid. And they're going to work very hard, very diligently to make sure that you get the house. And one secret, the realtors want to give you great service because not only they want to close the house that you're buying so you can get paid on the commission, but they are looking for referrals. 70% of the realtors, at least the realtors who's been in business 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and I would say more than 70% of the realtors, according to the National Association of Realtors, work as referrals. Most of their business comes from referrals. I've been in business for 25 years and 75% or 80% of all my business comes from referrals. So as a buyer's agent, if I'm working with you, I want to make sure that I find the house that you want, in the terms and conditions that you want, in the price range that you want, and help you close it strategically and smoothly without any hassle. Of course, there's always hassles when you close a home because it's not easy. There's too many contingencies, too many laws to go through, appraisals, inspections, natural hazards, fire prevention, all kinds of stuff that you have to go through. So they're not easy. So let the realtor do all the work. And once they close, what they're looking for going back is, of course, they'll get commissions, but they also want a referral, so they'll give you great service. And I'm saying that because realtors in general has a bad reputation. Not all realtors are bad. Find the good one and you'll be glad you did. By the way, if you're thinking about buying a house and you're looking for a referral for a realtor in your neighborhood, I'm connected nationwide with the top realtors nationwide. So direct message me or email me and I'll refer you to a great agent in your specific city or town. The next step is the fun step. This is the time when you're ready and you found a realtor, you're gonna go out and look for homes. Of course, before you drive out there and look for homes, you're gonna do your research, you're gonna look online, you're gonna look at the pictures, maybe you're gonna drive by the neighborhood. But the fun part is looking for a house, whether you're looking for a house or a townhouse or a condominium, or you're looking for a house with a pool or a single-story home, whatever type of house you're looking for, in the neighborhood that you're looking for, and in the price range you're looking for, you're gonna go visit those homes inside, physically see it, see the yard, see the inside, see the kitchen, see the garage, everything you wanna see, and the neighborhood, drive around the neighborhood, drive around the city if you're not familiar with it. And then when you decide to buy a house, when you find that house, write up an offer and your realtor will write up the offer. And of course, your realtor will tell you that with the offer, you already have an approval letter because you've talked to a lender. Your realtor would have already checked that you have the down payment. So if you're going to put 10% down on a $400,000 house, he or she will ask you, hey, show me a statement that you have $40,000 in your bank. So when you send that offer and the approval letter and the proof of funds that you have the money ready in your bank, then you look very strong, and the realtor will negotiate the price and the terms, and you are ready to go once your house is accepted. Congratulations, you're almost there to buy the house. You have about 30 days to 45 days to close escrow, and you start the buying process. I'll give you a very simple process, won't get into the details right now, but when you open escrow, or in some states, you go through an attorney and make an agreement to buy the house at a certain price. Then you have certain restrictions or certain deadlines. One of the deadlines is they'll give you some time to do the inspections and remove contingencies. So make sure with your realtor you do inspection, check the air conditioning, check the roof, check the plumbing. We are not experts, or you may not be an expert, so hire a professional inspector. If there's any issue with the air conditioning, or if there's a pool and it's not working, or dishwasher is not working, then you can negotiate with the seller. Your realtor will do that and either get credit or have the seller fix it before you move into the house. So those are some of the things you will have to do with your realtor. And you have 17 days to also get a formal approval from your lender. You are already approved, but when you actually buy the house and you open escrow and you have 30 days to close escrow, they're going to ask you for all the paperwork and documentation again. They're going to check your credit again. While that is happening, you have 17 days, and that's in California, by the way, 17 days, but that can be changed. Anything is negotiable. I'm just going to give you a general rule in California. So once you do all the inspections, once your loan is approved, you might have another 15-20 days to close escrow. So you can relax and let the bank or the lender do their paperwork, churn out all the paperwork and be ready. And then about 5 days before or 3 days before, the lender will give you a formal approval and say, hey, we're ready to close. This is the exact amount of money you're gonna need. Let's say you're gonna close on December 24th. So depending on the time of the month or how many days are remaining, they adjust the property tax and all those things, prorate everything, and they'll give you an exact amount. So on top of your down payment, they'll give you what you call the closing cost based on the date you close, and that's the money you're gonna have to transfer to the title company or the escrow company. You can talk to your attorney and they'll help you do all that. Or in California, we use escrow companies. So that's what happens, and you are ready to close escrow. One word of caution, while you're in escrow, and I'm sorry to say this, but we've seen it happen over and over again, and lenders and loan officers get really mad when this happens. So once you get into the escrow, please do not buy any big items like appliances, or don't go buy a brand new car, or just because you open escrow, don't go and start shopping for a big sofa and your refrigerators and appliances and charge it on your credit cards, because just before they close escrow, they will check all that. So hold off buying anything until you close escrow. Don't buy a car. Don't even switch jobs in the middle of that loan period, because everything affects your qualification and getting that loan. So be very, quote, still when you're buying the house. So just a word of caution. And then when everything is done, you got 2 more days to close escrow. They'll give you a wire account, or you can take a cashier's check. These days, everything is wired to the attorney's office or the escrow company. So you can transfer it to the title company, and the escrow company will guide you through that. You transfer the money based on your down payment and closing cost, and then it will be recorded with the county. So your name will be stamped on your grant deed. So you are officially a homeowner. Congratulations. I promised you the bonus tips, and here are the bonus tips. Very short, very simple. The first bonus tip is, I mentioned the down payment. So always remember that whatever you have a down payment, you have additional closing cost. So a lot of the buyers don't figure that closing cost. So on $1 million house, approximately, if it's a 2% closing cost, you need $20,000 in closing costs, which includes escrow and title and notary fees and FedEx fees and prepaying your 6 months of property tax, and some lenders require you pay 1 year of insurance ahead of time. So all those little costs add up. So on top of the down payment, make sure you have enough money for your closing cost. And the bonus tip number 2 is, in addition to your down payment and your closing cost, please have some additional funds ready when you move in or when you move out. So the path to home ownership is not an easy one, but it's a great one. I hope you go for your path to home ownership. Contact me for anything I can help you with.